Welcome back to QWERTY News, where we talk about all things QWERTY phones and niche phones. And a lot has been happening in the last month, so let's talk about it. Hey guys, it's me, Ole, and of course I'm kidding with this outfit. But there has been so much happening in the world of QWERTY lately, and I've been on holiday and I didn't do any videos for the past 4 weeks, so I think it's time to catch up, and I wanted to try a new format like this where I just talk about all the things that are happening and that are coming up. And you could see this as kind of a podcast, so you don't even need to watch the video, you can just listen. And yeah, let's try it out, and if it's something that works out, we could do this every month. But yeah, let's dive right into it. And as I said, there's been happening so much lately. There's the Minimal Phone 2, there's updates with clicks, there's copies of Unihertz phones like the Tengpai H1, and I received my clicks power keyboard to test. So yeah, let's dive right in and start off with the first news that I have here, and that is the Tengpai H1. And this is a very funny phone. It looks almost identical to the Unihertz Titan 2, the regular one, and it is actually a new phone by a Chinese phone company, and I think they're just starting out. This is like their first phone, and they reached out to me a couple of months ago, and they said, yeah, we've got a new phone, we want you to try it out, it's a QWERTY phone, and I actually have it. I didn't even think that they would pull through, but they did. And as I said, this is the Tengpai H1. It does look similar to the Unihertz Titan 2, but it is a bit different. It does have different internals. It does have a different keyboard. It even has a headphone jack on the bottom. But yeah, let's just talk through it. As I said, I just thought that it is a concept, but they did start a Kickstarter campaign and they already raised 35,000 euros out of their 42,000 euro goal, which is good. It's not a high goal, but at least they're almost hitting their goal. And this phone is, yeah, a special one. It does have the same display as the BlackBerry Passport and the Unihertz Titan 2. And the funny thing about it is that the Unihertz Titan 2 is already kind of a copy of the BlackBerry Passport. And now the Tengpai H1 is like a copy of the Unihertz Titan 2, which is a copy of the BlackBerry Passport. So it is funny, but it is different. Especially the keyboard is different. They, seems like, created a completely new keyboard, which has some different lettering. It is backlit, but somehow the letters on the keys aren't backlit, so I don't know the point of that. As I said, it has a headphone jack on the bottom. It has a 5000 mAh battery. It has a 50 megapixel back camera and a 32 megapixel telephoto lens, as well as an 8 megapixel front-facing camera, which isn't a lot by any means. It is running on, I have my notes here because it's a lot we're going to talk about today. It is running on Android 16. It has 5G network support. It has dual SIM, eSIM capability. It has capability of running SD cards up to 2 terabytes, which is a lot. And the funny thing about it is that it is actually using a Qualcomm processor. So it has the Snapdragon 7S Generation 2, and the exact naming of the processor is, let me read that out, is the Qualcomm QTI QCM 6690. So pretty good specs, has 35-watt fast charging, and it's available for $399 as early bird pricing. The only issue I have is, I know this is a pre-production model, but I do have several issues with it, and I reached out to Tengpai to sort them out, because for me it's pretty much unusable. So yeah, I want to give them a chance. I want to try it out, but at the moment I can't. Housing wise, yeah, it feels like it's a prototype. I hope the final version doesn't feel the way it does. There's a back cover peeling off a bit. The keyboard doesn't really fit into the housing, and my display has a lot of issues and I can't really type on it. So let's see how this works out. I want to know your opinion about what you think about those companies. putting out phones like that. I think it's nice that there is happening a lot and people are publishing QWERTY phones, but of course they need to be good and they need to be something real and they need to be something usable. So let me know in the comments below what you think about the Tengpai H1. Maybe you've seen a couple of videos on YouTube already, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the next topic. Next topic, I finally got my hands on a Clicks power keyboard and I just unboxed it, and my first impressions, I actually used it in Vegas and in Barcelona this year, but having it in hands again, I really like the way it is put together, the weight of it, and even the clicks of it. And typing sounds like this, which is nice. I tried it on an iPhone here, so you can just connect it and then you have a slide out keyboard. I did read mixed impressions on Reddit so far, so I'm really excited on how I think it's gonna be. What I really like already is that you can use it without the phone attached, so you can have it laying somewhere and just type on this keyboard like this, or use it for Apple TV or your smart TV. So that is what I'm gonna try it for and use it for, and then yeah, let's see. I'll probably push out a review next week about it. So stay tuned for that. But first impressions so far are okay and good and feel sturdy, of course. Talking about Clicks, they released their first hands-on video about a working phone last month. And crazily enough, it already has 1.3 million views, which is crazy, especially for a company like Clicks, which is pretty small, to be honest. And seeing that there's so much attention and so much traffic going on those videos is a really good sign for QWERTY phones, and I hope it's continuing to be like this. So we see more of those and we see more people using these phones so we can get even more QWERTY phones. So if you haven't seen the video of the Clicks Communicator hands-on so far, I will put a link to it in the description box below, so check it out. They also put out a new video which is called 3 weeks later, and it's a pretty short video, but you'll see the Clicks Communicator in action and see what is going to happen with it, because we'll see it this year and I'm pretty excited for it. Of course, I pre-ordered it, and yeah, that's what Clicks is up to. I think we'll see more. And big news, big topic. Minimal launched their second phone on Kickstarter, the Minimal Phone 2. And there was Andre, the founder of Minimal. He teased the phone a couple of times on Instagram and showed like sneak previews of it. And now we got the full picture. We've seen the whole phone. They launched on Kickstarter. As I said, they already reached their 85,000 euro goal and already raised 1.2 million euros. So they surpassed that goal by a lot. But to be honest, 85,000 for a phone isn't a big goal. So maybe they just did it to actually reach their goal. But 1.2 million is a lot. And there is a lot of interest in that phone. There's a lot of news articles that I saw about it. Even MKBHD picked up on it and talked about it on his podcast. So yeah, Minimal Phone 2 is about to launch. If we look back at the Minimal Phone 1, it was a real dumb phone. It featured an e-ink display. It also had a QWERTY keyboard, but it was meant to be a dumb phone that couldn't do a lot. So this is why I never had any interest in that phone, because I'm just not a dumb phone guy. But with the Minimal Phone 2, they're trying to be something different, I think. They still keep that minimal, use your phone less aesthetic, and they still market it as kind of a dumb phone. But if you look at it in detail, it isn't really a dumb phone. It features a Dimensity 8300 processor. It has 12 gigabytes of RAM. It has a 4-inch regular OLED display, so no e-ink display anymore. It has a QWERTY keyboard that is touch sensitive. It has a 50 megapixel camera. It has a headphone jack, mute switch, fingerprint scanner, dual speakers. It features a notification LED, which is very nice, a metal build. So it doesn't really sound like a dumb phone, as it is running regular Android. Of course, it has a minimal OS overlay on that Android, but you could use it for all of your apps, and that includes social media apps, Spotify, your mails. So it's not really a dumb phone anymore. Yes, it has the 4-inch screen and is very small at just 122 millimeters high and 72 millimeters wide. So it is smaller even than a BlackBerry Classic, which is crazy because that already is a small phone. So I don't know if there has been a lot of discussion about that topic lately, if it's enough for a dumb phone to have a small screen and a keyboard. And I actually used the Titan 2 Elite, which isn't a dumb phone, of course, with its small screen. And after using it, I did find myself using social media a lot less than normally, especially when it's just sitting next to my computer while I'm working. And I've been only using it on this phone occasionally after work. And that definitely reduced my content usage. So yes, it does kind of work, but I'm very excited to see how it works with the Minimal Phone 2. I think a big part of it being like a productivity-centric phone or a dumb phone is its operating system, and that is Minimal OS, which is, of course, the launcher on Android. And they did it in a very nice way where you don't really need to use the touchscreen that much. So they have a lot of shortcuts enabled where you can quickly text your friends, add a timer, add a to-do to your to-do list. And they also included a messaging hub where you have all of your messages coming into a single hub where you can reply out of, read out of. And I really like that idea. And that is something I really loved about my BlackBerry 10 operating system on the BlackBerry Classic with the BlackBerry Hub, where you had all of your messages in one place and didn't need to go through all of your apps to see them. So that is a nice addition, I think. But yeah, of course, we haven't seen it yet. I've only seen the PR videos, but they look kind of promising in my opinion, and I like what they're doing. I like that they have a premium build with metal frames. Of course, you need to see how it feels ergonomically in your hands. I like that they use a QWERTY keyboard, which is touch sensitive, that has angled keys to make it more ergonomic. I really like that they added a headphone jack on the top, which is nice. I really like that they added like a physical mute switch. So you have that satisfying feeling of, saying, I don't want any notifications or whatever this button can be used for. And I also like that they included a notification LED, something that the Clicks Communicator also introduced on the site, which is awesome. And I like that more and more phone companies like Minimal are now putting in notification LEDs because in my opinion, it is a great feature. And if you only have it blinking for the most important thing, I think it's a good addition. They also shared a lot of updates in the past 2 weeks of upgrading their phones for all of the backers. And they announced the phone with 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 3000 mAh battery. And throughout the last 2 weeks, they said, hey, we're going to give all of you 12 gigs of RAM and not 8 gigs of RAM because we can. And maybe because they had a new supplier. And they also said, we now have a carbon silicon battery with 3600 mAh instead of the 3000. So here's an additional 600 mAh for all of you. And I really like the idea of it. And I really like that they shared so openly and are giving it to everybody and without giving them a pro version or a reduced version, but only having one. I like that. With the Minimal OS, they shared a lot of things like to-do lists in their calendar. And what I'm excited to see if those features can actually be synchronized to your existing cloud apps, emails, where you already have to-dos and want them on all of your devices. Because I don't want to-dos that are only sitting on my phone. If I type in a to-do on my phone, I want it to be on my computer, I want it to be on my tablet, maybe in my email app. So I don't miss anything. So I hope they have this level of synchronization or cloud support in the OS. But yeah, that's something we'll need to find out. It also has 5G and eSIM support. It's going to be available in 3 colors: Pearl, which is silver and white; Onyx, which is black; and a special edition amber color, but this is only for the premium backers, I think. What is kind of worrying, in my opinion, is that they do not have GMS certification yet. They say it's ongoing, But I think for a phone like this, it is almost essential for it to have GMS certification. It is like the Google service certification, so you can use Google Play services. You can use Google Pay, I think. So yeah, I think they need to have it, and I hope they're getting it. They say it's shipping in December, so let's cross our fingers that is actually true. Looking at Unihertz, where it actually took a lot longer than they first announced it to be. Open questions for the Minimal Phone 2 are, of course, how is typing on a small device like that, and therefore small keys and a small keyboard? How is performance and usability of the OS? As I said, can you synchronize it with all of your devices? How is it implemented into the software? For now, I think it looks very nice, very promising, but I'm very excited for what it's going to be like. Also, what I'm interested in is how does it compare to the Clicks Communicator? Now that the Minimal Phone 2 isn't that much of a minimal phone, a dumb phone anymore, and they're trying to use the OS to make it dumber or more minimal, how does it compare to the Clicks Communicator, which is also a regular Android phone that has software improvements to make it more productive? So I'm here for it. I'm very excited how it compares, and maybe also compares to something like the Titan 2 Elite. And the question I have for you is a small screen enough to be a dumb phone, or is a keyboard enough to be a dumb phone? Is the Minimal Phone 2 really a minimal phone? Let me know your opinion in the comment section below. I'm very interested in that. And let me know if any of those phones like Clicks, Minimal Phone 2, or the Tengpai H1, are you going to order any of them? Did you order any of them? Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, that was it for this video. It was kind of just a talking video about all of the updates that have been happening in the past weeks and my opinions on them. Let me know if you like this format, and this has been quick shot, but we could do this with more preparation, more topics even, and maybe inviting some guests here. I'm gonna see maybe returning retro next week in Cologne in Germany, and there's gonna be IFA in Berlin in 2 weeks. I don't know yet if I'm going to go there, but if I do, you'll find out here. Also, let me know if you know anything about IFA, if there's special devices, special phones getting announced there, getting shown there that I need to see. So if they are, I might go. Let me know. All right, that's been it. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel to stay updated with the newest videos about niche phones and QWERTY devices. Also, make sure to follow me on my social media channels like Twitter or Instagram, where I show a lot of videos. For example, the unboxing video of the Clicks power keyboard that is coming up. So yeah, that's been it. See you in my next video next week. Until then, bye bye.